All right, please check this out. I've been sitting here for 10 minutes laughing at the title of this article. It says, Vance team goes door to door pleading with Greenlanders to welcome the VP and his wife. And this is because JD Vance decided to crash his wife's Greenland trip, and he got a very icy reception from the citizens of Greenland. I mean, local businesses rejected them. The tourism company canceled their itinerary entirely, and the citizens gave them quite the icy reception. Let me break down how we got here because the story is hilarious. And it kind of reminds me of 2 months ago when Don Jr., Charlie Kirk, and a bunch of other Trump admin officials went to Greenland, and it was a really weird vibe. It was like Trump trying to act like a king, sending his firstborn son to go conquer a new island, and the citizens then still gave an icy reception, especially after Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk tried to hire homeless people off the street, put MAGA hats on them, and then hold a makeshift MAGA rally in Greenland, and they got exposed for it. I mean, the entire thing is wild, and now Usha and JD Vance are back and better than ever. U.S. representatives had to canvass door to door in Greenland to sound whether residents would even welcome a visit from Usha Vance. You know, let's back up just a little bit. A few days ago, we learned that Usha Vance was going to Greenland to take a quote-unquote cultural tour, but it still seems like she's trying to court favorability in the same way that Don Jr. was. It's still a really weird trip. But then we learned on Monday that Vice President JD Vance might join his wife and go to Greenland. VP JD Vance said on Tuesday that he would join his wife, Second Lady Usha Vance, on a trip to Greenland this week after an earlier announcement of her plans received an icy reception, because the trip comes after Trump has continued to muse about the United States annexing Greenland. And I wouldn't even say he's musing about it or joking. I mean, he's currently using tariffs as an economic weapon on Canada to try to get them to integrate in the United States. So it's not really a joke. Now, Vance and his wife both posted videos to social media. And you know, let me show you friend of the show Keith Edwards breaking down the absolute weirdness in this video of Usha Vance. Check this out.
This is the craziest. I don't know who approved this. She's reading off cue cards. She makes these really strange pauses, and she's blinking nonstop.
Hello. I'm so excited to share that I'll be visiting Kalaalleq, Greenland, next weekend. I'm particularly thrilled to visit during our national dog sled race, which our country is proud to support as a sponsor. I've been reading all about it with my children, and I'm amazed by the incredible skill and teamwork that it takes to participate in this race. I'm also coming to celebrate the long history of mutual respect and cooperation between our nations, and to express hope that our relationship will only grow stronger.
Do you guys hear that too? I won't play the full video, but does that not sound kind of robot-y? Let me know in the comment section. Does that sound kind of robot-y? Make sure you drop a like. But after we learned that JD Vance was joining his wife on this trip, we learned that Greenland businesses began to rescind the invitation to host the Second Lady Usha Vance during the trip. So, just today, on the 27th, Thursday, we learned a tourism business in Greenland has rescinded its invitation to host Second Lady Usha Vance after Vice President JD Vance said he would be joining her on the visit to the island. Tupilaq Travel, based in the capital of Greenland, Nuuk, announced on Facebook Tuesday that Usha Vance's once scheduled visit was canceled after, quote, closer consideration. And we actually have the message right here. This is Tupilaq Travel rejecting JD and Usha Vance. So they wrote on Facebook, and this was translated to English, quote, "No thanks to nice visit. When the U.S. consulate called yesterday and asked if the U.S. Vice President's wife, Usha Vance, could visit our store on Friday, we replied that she would be happy to. Everyone is welcome in the store." And then what happened is JD Vance got added to the trip. After closer consideration, however, we have now informed the consulate that we do not want her visit, as we cannot accept the underlying agenda and will not be part of the press show that, quite of course, comes with it. And of course, they are right. I mean, it would be a huge press show for the Trump administration. They would say it's this massive victory. They're working on courting Greenland. There were also reports that JD Vance was going to use this trip to have military conversations with the officials of Greenland, which is just not something that you want. You don't want to host that. You don't want to be the corporation or the business, the tourism business that incentivizes that. We have another tweet that says, Greenland tells US to kick rocks. According to Danish outlet TV2, American officials were literally going door to door in Nuuk, Greenland, trying to rally support for a visit from Usha Vance, wife of VP JD Vance, after not only the tourism business told him to kick rocks, other people told him to kick rocks, the officials told him to kick rocks, locals were not having it. The response was a resounding no thanks from the locals. Result, the whole trip is getting scrapped, the itinerary is getting scrapped, it's all getting scrapped. And it comes to this article. Usha Vance's Greenland trip somehow just got more embarrassing for Trump. It turns out no one wants to hang out with Usha Vance, and a lot of it is her proximity to JD Vance and JD Vance's proximity to Trump, who has spent the past 2 months, really you can argue 8 years, but he's literally spent the past 2 months pushing all of our allies away at a rapid pace. At a pace that nobody thought was possible. He's pushing away Greenland, therefore Denmark. He's pushing away Canada, Mexico. Any NATO country now doesn't rely on the US. It says it's a good thing that the second lady's trip to Greenland was canceled because apparently nobody wanted her there. US representatives were reportedly seen knocking door to door in Nuuk, Greenland's capital, to ascertain how Vance's visit to the Nordic island would be received. The answer, not well. They would not be received well. Quote, the Americans' charm offensive mission has failed, reported TV2 correspondent Jesper Steinmetz, adding that locals have completely cold-shouldered the Vance family's prospective visit. American representatives were seen walking around the city, canvassing residents to see if people would be interested in a visit from the vice president's wife. They've gotten no every single time. They probably got a few who, and then if they did get a yes, I guarantee they were going to try to throw a MAGA hat on that person. Usha Vance was reportedly scheduled to attend a dog sled race in the foreign country, sharing in a video statement that she was reading all about it with her children. Again, this video statement is very odd and peculiar. She sounds like a straight robot. She talks like a robot.
To participate in this race. I'm also coming to celebrate the long history of mutual respect and cooperation between our nations, and to express hope that our relationship will only grow stronger in the coming.
Mutual respect and collaboration? By mutual respect and collaboration, do you mean Donald Trump trying to bully them and not ruling out economic and military force in order to get them? But going back to this article, quote, I'm also coming to celebrate the long history of mutual respect and cooperation between our nations and to express hope that our relationship will only grow stronger in the coming years, the second lady said. See you soon. Now, the Vance family's travel plans to Greenland were then dropped. Instead, they will visit a space base on the island's northwest coast later this week. Greenland's government said in a statement posted on Facebook Monday that it had, quote, not extended any invitations for any visits, neither private nor official. And Greenland's government has rejected Trump's advances many times, just like all of the women in his life have rejected his advances. But they've said, dude, right now we are trying to vote to get independence from Denmark. The last thing we want is to be independent from Denmark, to have our own nation, and then all of a sudden be at the behest of a weird orange lunatic. They didn't say that exactly, but that was the gist of it. They did say that they're fighting for independence, not just switching to being the subsidiary of another country that will probably provide worse healthcare, right? Greenland's government said it had not extended any invitations, and the self-governing Danish territory has not taken kindly to what its officials have described as Donald Trump's repeated, quote, aggression against Greenland's sovereignty. Over the last several months, the US president has made odd jokes and eyebrow-raising militaristic threats about buying and annexing Greenland. Of course, I disagree, and you guys probably disagree, with the classification of this as a joke. I really don't think annexing territory with Putin-esque rhetoric is a joke. None of that is a joke whatsoever. And again, Greenland businesses were declining to take the business of JD Vance over fears of a MAGA event, fears of a repeat of what happened when Don Jr. visited. Long story short, the Trump admin is making us less respectable on the global stage, and we see that every single day. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. If you made it this far, drop some blue hearts. I get comments like, hey, Adam, I thought I was subscribed, but I never actually scrolled down and clicked the button. So make sure you do. I love all of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.